know, one thing I don't like about our winters, I love the snow, I love the ice, I don't like slippery conditions. And one thing that I really don't like is when I get salt on my vehicle. You can see even here, the salt that's on the road is actually white because it's actually soaked into the road. These are the big granulars of salt. And when they end up on your vehicle, you carry them into your mats in your car, they go where the brakes are in your wheels, especially around your fenders in the bottom of the frame of your car. And then it dissolves, and it's one of the primary things that creates rust. So what I like to do is to use something that actually removes this salt every time I get a lot of salt on my vehicle. You could go to a car wash in the wintertime and spray it down, but that doesn't necessarily get the salt out of the little grooves and crannies. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to spray, especially around the handle. I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to spray because I want to eliminate that salt. Winter time, so the hoses are all shut off, and I'm not at a spray wash, so I'm just got water in a big bucket and a little bucket, and I'm just going to pour it down to make sure that all the residue's gone away. And that way that's going to be nice and clean, and it's going to protect especially these hinges and where the door meets the back of the frame of the vehicle. Very smart to do. Another thing, salt does not do well with aluminum, and you can see these are nice aluminum rims. There's lots of salt that gets deposited, sometimes right in where the brakes are. So if you get salt in there, especially going through a neighborhood, and it sits there, you know that your brakes, because it's steel, will rust anyway if the car's sitting for a while. But especially if you get salt in there, it's going to rust even more. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to apply it to the rim. And I'm even going to go inside a little bit. You can see that it foams up. And remember, my concern is not to make this a nice shiny rim so that it looks good. My concern is to get rid of that salt. So I'm just going to let that drip, and I'm just going to rinse it in a second. The agent is working. I'm going to use my water, rinse it off. Now, one of the other things is, this is a cover for the mats in the vehicle. If you don't have one, your mat is probably going to be soaked in with all this salt and water that will eventually dry. So I'm doing the same thing here. I'm just spraying this. It's going to break down that salt, and in a moment I'm going to brush it, and then I'm going to just rinse it out with my little bucket of water. So I've let it do its work. I'm just going to use my brush to get any of the salt that's in between the grooves. It's a little cold out because it is winter time, so I'm not taking my time doing this. And it's not harmful for the driveway. I'm going to rinse all that salt away, and we're going to have a clean mat. So one thing I would suggest is in the winter time, or actually the fall, get the rust proofing done underneath your vehicle, because it does protect it from our salt, especially in the northern parts of North America. And then when you get salt, or especially around your door, your fenders, anywhere there's hinges or where the door, there's a gap in the door, or especially aluminum rims, use something that'll remove the salt. That way everything's going to last longer.